Here we go. Hi, everyone. It's Monday, October 23rd, and many of us just came back from our conference in San Antonio. And tonight what I would like to do is, and it's going to be a short call, it's going to be a 30-minute call, and I'd like to get highlights from as many people as possible about what is the, your favorite part of the event in San Antonio, because we're very fortunate to be there, but many of people were not able to be there. So let's share with everyone else we can what we've learned, what were the highlights, and how whatever you've learned, how you need to apply it now that you're back home. So who would like to get started? Very shy group? Well, I'm going to ask.
I nominate Madeline. She did a great job.
That's exactly what I was going to do. Madeline, why don't you start and share, because I'd like to hear from as many people as possible on the call. And by the way, please mute yourself so we avoid the feedback. Madeline, why don't you start and share, the one or two highlights of the event for you?
I think, thank you, Bernadette. Mr. Kasuda's presentations. He was to the point. It was interesting to learn about the tap rooting, the vested interest. It was a good visual, the visuals, and of how the new compensation plan works. I thought that was very helpful. I think all the speakers were excellent. Being a part of the Platinum Alliance, it was a great honor to see our very professional presentations by our Platinum Alliance team on products and so forth that presented. I came away with a sense of urgency and excitement. I've been to a lot of meetings over the years, but a real sense of urgency and excitement to really activate my plan. And because of being a part of the cause, there were tools and business and products, but the greater cause and the greater need. So that was my greatest inspiration. It was sort of pulling it all together, and the time in between. Someone else mentioned that earlier today, the opportunity to meet with different people for lunches in the hallway, sharing rooms for breakfast. It was a very, and I felt that same energy with those that we were communicating with. Didn't matter who it was. That it's really one team, one dream, and a sincere interest to really taking our individual and our collective collaborative roles to position Nikken to be the #1 global leading total wellness giant, and are part of it for the part that we play in it. Thanks, Bernadette.
Wonderful. Excellent. Who would like to share next? Don't be shy, guys. I know many of you were excited and came back. I had a chance to speak to many of you over there. Yes, Charlie.
For me, what I came away with is how they showed us the simplicity and the uncomplicated way we do business. We started off, and when we had to go silver, it was 20,000 points in 1 month, and we did everything that we thought we knew we needed to do to get that, including stretching the truth sometimes, etc. But now with our downline, it's so simple, not easy, but so simple. You got a guideline, and Rick Murphy laid it out so beautifully for us. Here are the different steps you take. And you don't have to guess. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's very simple. And what he also pointed out to us, all good franchises, all good business have a system. Follow the system and you'll succeed. You can't run a McDonald's business selling waffles. They have a system. You follow their system and you'll be successful. We have been, in too many cases, trying to do things not our way, but we've all been in business running different companies, and we thought, that's the way I ran my business very successfully, thank you. And that's the way that I think I can run my Nikin business. But scrap all of that. We have a system. Follow the system, and you'll be successful.
Excellent, excellent. For the next people who are going to share, try to be very specific on certain things. What are the nuts and nuggets that you got that would be very helpful for other people to hear from? Charlie, will you please mute yourself? Thank you.
Bernadette, I'd like to say something.
Absolutely, Stan. Go ahead.
Are you ready?
Absolutely. Always.
Well, you know what? It was an exciting. I agree with Madeline. I can't remember the gentleman's name from North America, or from Latin America, talking about the compensation plan and how it works, and the fact that we have to really, really understand it and study it, which a lot of people weren't aware of that. And the way he outlined, as Madeline said, the tap rooting, the second levels down, are responsible for building the income, if you will. That was profound to me, as well as what what Charlie just said, the simplicity of the thing. I mean, that the sheet that Mike put out was just the 3 things that you have to do: buy your products and invite 3 people. And the top of the thing was Mike's law of attraction. To me, that was the icing on the cake. He did a very good job with it. I've watched it before, and this time he was really excellent, because he was standing there and he was really putting his body into it. You know, he was giving us demonstrations from one to the other, and that was really profound to me. And the thing is, the law of attraction, it worked for me going down, and I didn't realize it until I was on the airplane going back. Because I have 3 prospects, sold 3 pair of mag steps to 3 different people, and I've been communicating with them today, 3 on texts, text for 3 times. So, that was my takeaway from the whole thing.
Excellent. I have to agree with you, Stan. I mean, Mike's signature talk of the law of attraction is absolutely unbelievable, and I wish everybody around the world would hear him, because it's absolutely phenomenal. I've had a chance to listen to him in person many, many times over, and every time it's just beautiful. So I could not agree more. Wonderful. Who would like to share something else? I'm going to call on some of you.
Hi, this is Jean.
Yes, Jean.
There were so many things, as usual. You can't just summarize it all. But I think Gary Linder did the most fabulous job of organizing the products. We haven't focused much on the products at most, or the technologies at most of them. And it was great. And kudos to him and to all of you who presented. And there were a few not among our group that presented. But it was just really well done, and just little nuggets I picked up. I haven't been using that sensor, for instance, for a long time. And I'm going to carry it from now on, because I think showing people, just showing them in the way they said. I mean, I've done the water test. I haven't done the lemon test lately. That's another one that, but anyway, I just thought that was one of the many things that hit me, is that we need to be doing more demos.
Excellent. Suzanne. How about you?
Wow, that's great. Thanks for calling on me. I'm actually looking through my pages of notes. I think one of the things that I took away was Sherry Danzig with her smile exercise. I've had that on my phone now for the whole day and a half. Every 15 minutes it comes up and reminds me of something that makes me smile. Mine says, let's see if I can bring it up. Oh, it's not going to come up. It says, I have found my 4 and I feel fantastic. So that's, putting me in a good space. And I certainly, even though I wasn't able to attend Mike's Law of Attraction, Anne and I on the way home lived the Law of Attraction all day long yesterday. We attracted some amazing people and situations. And so I think just the energy of the event carried us forward into today. But I did have something at the top that I was going to say. I loved Susan's her 3 ways of making money, which I've heard before, and the aspects between a job and what we do in our business. And in fact, I did a Zoom call with her today with someone here at my house, and she brought that up and walked through that again. So it was great to hear that again with someone listening, and then I asked her what she thought after we got off, and it was very clear and very easy to use. And to the last but not least was, we did use this brochure, even though this was the one that was passed out, and we used it on the plane on the way home 2 different times. It was very easy, 1.5 minutes. It doesn't have to be drawn out, but it was engaging. It was creating that conversation. So taking action, not just thinking about it, is the big thing.
Excellent. Taking action, using tools. Excellent. Who would like to share something next?
Bernadette, John Wesley was a new, young, first-time attendee.
I know. Laurie, I know you raised your hand. John, we get to you afterwards.
I've always followed Suzanne, so I might as well follow her today.
You can't do that anymore. You have to pass her that.
I guess it's in my DNA as well, because I'm flipping through my notes as well. There was so much good stuff. Mike DiMuccio said something, and I've probably heard it before from him, but he said that we are born to dream. We're not born to survive, and you said, I quote, that you have to know your why and you want to overcome, so you have to take action. And so that I made my decision in San Antonio. I don't know who said that in San Antonio, but I made my decision, and taking action and moving forward. You just got to put some action to your words and your dreams and your hopes, and seeing everyone accomplishing little by little what they want and what they've dreamt and how they want to serve people, and watching it just happen. People talking about, I think the testimonies are always the most powerful. And seeing tears in the eyes of the leaders, I don't think Mike ever gets up there and doesn't have a tear in his eye. Susan Carver was just amazing, just the vulnerability. And basically, I just took action today, and I even surprised myself. But I have a plan. It's down on paper. I'm moving forward, and it's not a carrot that's dangling out there, because I can see it in all of you leaders. You've already have accomplished it. The path is already forged. I'm not taking the road less traveled. It's the road there's a path there already. So I'm just excited. I don't feel overwhelmed. It's a big, hairy goal. It is, but I know I can achieve it. So and I appreciate everything that all of the leaders do and have done to make a way for those of us who are right on your tail, right on your heels.
For those of you that weren't there, since you mentioned Bernadette ended one of her presentations with a very powerful jumping out and parachuting with her daughter to break through a terror barrier. That was very profound. I'm not going to do that, Bernadette. Jump out of a parachute.
You don't need to jump out of a parachute to overcome your fears, guys. You just need to tackle any fears. The mental game. Showing that video was really, there's the obvious, right, which is jumping out of the plane and all of that. But it's all fears. It's about mental game. It's what it is that we play in our head. What it is, I can tell you, I could have been sick a few times when I jumped off that plane. But in a split of a second, I said to myself, no, it's not going to happen. And I enjoyed it, and I'm going to do it again because it was just an amazing, amazing experience. So overcoming our fears is just about, first, like we talked about, it's about being aware, first of all, of what's blocking us. Because unless we acknowledge it, we actually letting them take over, and it's not just helping us. So, it was great. Now, John, would you unmute yourself and share? I know you had a wonderful way of sharing some things on stage, but for you it was, I believe, your first big event, John, I believe, right? So what did you get out of the most? What is whether the nuggets, how you felt? Just share with us.
First, I love the passion, just the camaraderie and the compassion between people. I've worked in a lot of settings. My first career was in my first career was in college. I was a personal athletic trainer. I was in the military for 4 years. Then I worked for my father. We owned a marketing agency together, and he decided to close that down. But I've never felt a sense of family more than I did this weekend. People that just cared for each other. It's unbelievable. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is just knowing that you guys are there for everybody. You're there for us, for me, and you guys just open your arms to me. It was unbelievable, more than anything I've ever felt in any business setting, in any personal setting. And I'm glad to be a part of this family. The stories, you guys just open yourselves up and expose yourselves on a different level that normal people don't. And it creates a sense of vulnerability that allows people to connect on a different level. I'm excited to get to know all the products. Pam has taught me a lot about a lot of them, but there are some I don't know. So I'm getting into the thick of learning about all the products, and I'm also excited to share them with my team, my other business, where we grow food for people and set up farmers to grow food for people. So I've talked to my boss today, and I'm going to start sharing that with them and showing them the products and stuff. And so I don't know. I just look forward to getting to know you all and sharing everything and getting some mentorship from all of you with so much experience, from doctors to nurses to everything in between. It's just amazing, all of you people that coming together and care for each other like you do.
Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Who else was there? Bob, go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, John, it was fun meeting you, and it was so exciting. We've been talking a little bit on a phone call before this, how, in fact, I'll say this because I looked around the room and look at all the gray hair. So it's so fun to have a young person.
I got some of my beard here, see?
Yeah, okay. But it's probably still younger than the rest of us. But anyway, it was fun meeting you, and it's exciting that you were able to come because you've got great sponsors. And Bernadette, I think one of the things that, you talked a lot about was vision and transferring or connecting with people, and people communicating that vision. And for me, I guess we all know we need to have a vision, but I came away saying, okay, I've got to create that vision, a bigger vision, and be more articulate about that, and I think you were saying people buy into the dreamer before they buy into the dream. So if you have a big dream and you have a big vision, that'll come across. And of course, I love Brody, his whole thing on belief, and belief in what you do and belief in yourself. So those are all strong points. But looking through my notes too, there was just so many good things. I think what I loved the most, and I agree with Suzanne, Susan Carver with the, what'd she call them, the mastery, the levels of awareness. And that you really, if you know somebody is ready to do something and they express their uniqueness, that's where you start. And things start to happen if you can identify their uniqueness and help them with that. And again, everybody keeps talking about the clear vision. And I think that's, for me, getting a clear vision and helping the team with a vision, because they can't have a vision until, they have to go by your vision until they can create their own. So.
Wonderful.
It was great.
Wonderful. Very well said, Bob. The other Bob. Yes.
Well, I picked up on a number of bullets, but I like the term affirmations versus aforementions. And putting things in a question form, the mind will help figure it out. And so often, you know, when we're doing affirmations, but we're just sort of doing them repetitively without really thinking about what it is that we're saying. That was one thing. Excuse me. And work like everything depends on you, but play like everything depends on God. I like that comment. And I also like the way Susan Carver broke down the values of what we have versus a job. So that, you know, I mean, if you're going through it with a person and they say, well, what do you really have to offer? You can say freedom to set your own schedule, which in a job, it's not applicable. Freedom to live wherever, with a job, slim to none. Work with people you enjoy, 50-50. No income limit, job, slim to none. Significant tax deductions, not applicable with a job. Residual passive income, slim to none in a job. Varied travel opportunities, slim to none in a job. Having a creative outlet, slim to none with a job. And able to deposit time that adds value. And then the final question, what do you value? And I thought that was something really good, that with a certain category of people, you could actually go through those with them. If they don't get it by showing them the Nikan advantage, you could go through these comparisons if they're more blue collar than white collar. Because some of the people that I have talked to, they're more interested in whether they have unemployment insurance and whether they're going to get benefits. And so they don't look beyond that. So you just move on to next. So I thought everybody fired off some bullets. I've taken copious notes. And in reviewing some of them today, I didn't get much of a chance to go through very much of it. But everything I read, I could see the person saying it, and it was resonating, and it was hitting certain aspects. A lot of it we've heard before, but sometimes you have to hear it 10 times for it to make that real impact. Because while you're focusing on one comment, you're missing the next comment that's being made. So when you hear it repetitively, eventually you get the whole picture. At least you hope you do. It was a dynamic weekend. Dynamic.
Excellent, excellent. And just to add to what you just said, Bob, is, you know, and sometimes it's because every time that we come anyway, we're at a different space, each and every one of us, right? Yeah. So what maybe we, and sometimes what we thought we understood, maybe not quite, and maybe this time we are, and so on. So that's why, you know, coming back to events on a regular basis, it's very important for our own personal growth and professional growth. Wonderful. And
well, my consultant canceled just a few days before I was leaving, and I was so disappointed that she wasn't there, because she would have got a tremendous amount out of it. Next time.
Exactly. And I know you also raise your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had an interesting experience. One of my consultants was unable to come because of her husband getting ill. So I invited my sister-in-law, who is a retail customer and had just invested entirely in her health with a wellness home and auto ship and everything, which already was shocking me, because having known her and been in Nikan for over 10 years, and she knew what I was doing somewhat. But I took the time this summer to sit down with her, and I apologized to her for not treating her with due respect to give her the full picture. I had just been saying, oh, this product looks good, and you should use this, and you should use that. And obviously I came across as being knowing it all, and also she resisted for about 10 years. So this summer, when I showed her the entire picture and really took the time, to the due time that she deserved, she got it. And she got it as far as what we have to offer in the way of products. And so I invited her to come. And said, listen, if you want to come, I have a ticket, and said, I don't expect you to pay for it. She said, no, I'll pay for it. And I said, no, how about we split it? So that was a good solution because, it didn't make her feel that, she was indebted to me and I not to her. She came to almost every single part of this weekend, which we know is a lot of sitting and listening. And she was attentive and listened, and she is a little hearing impaired, but she was very impressed. And I think we don't give ourselves enough credit. I think we can bring customers and new acquaintances and show them really, this is a fantastic group of people that care about others and the world and the planet. Suzanne just mentioned something that I had never heard before, the triple bottom line on our other call about people, and planet. And I wrote it down as here. I forgot because it's so late. But that we really do not give ourselves enough credit. Oh, people, planet, and profits. And she was amazed. And after all was said and done, I said to her, if I had approached you, 10 years ago when I first heard about Niken and said, hey, I found out about this great company that's all about wellness and helping other people, and you can make money yourself. And if I just said that to you, would you have been interested? She goes, oh, yeah. So, that's what we should really be doing. And I think we underestimate, or at least I know I've underestimated the group and the company, and never the products, but the rest of it. I've underestimated the power of it.
Excellent. We have 3 minutes to go, guys, because today is a short call, as I mentioned. Who wants to share? I heard a voice.
Bernadette, can you hear Yoko? I'm sorry, I don't have a screen.
Okay, go ahead, Yoko.
I'm just going to make one point, and it just surmises, it just completes everything that everyone's spoken about, and it's people. You saw the power of our leaders, all of their own feelings, actions, experiences. You saw the people, us, all the attendees. You saw some of our prospects. You saw HQ. It is one of the most unique situations that people will seldom see. I've been fortunate to see a lot in my business career, and no question, I'd be proud to have someone experience this. I think it's anybody's loss not to experience this. It was a wonderful, wonderful event for any age.
Fantastic. Dee, I saw quickly your hand, so why don't you take it on and then close the meeting? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think just real quickly, what I wanted to say, for some reason, there was a calmer excitement that I was experiencing through the weekend and even afterward. But I don't know whether it was, I know you said to me, Dee, it's all about action when we talked briefly at breakfast. And then having the law of attraction at the end, in not Mike on the stage, but close to us, there seemed to be a different energy than when he has presented that at big conferences before. And maybe it was where I was, hearing it now several times, that I took it into a deeper level. And but the people I talked to at the airport, then on the plane, the follow-up I did today, I felt like I was really implementing more quickly and with greater confidence than after any other event I've been to. And I'm not even saying this was the best event. I think it's just where I am, but I think all the things we've been doing all year have added to all of that so that I could receive it in a different way and start integrating it and using it.
Excellent. Very wonderful, Dee, wonderful. There's a lot of things, and I think, if we had more time, we could share even more. But here's the thing, is all those feelings and wonderful things that each and everyone have shared, keep that close to your heart. Don't forget it. Reconnect with that regularly and really make it happen. Now, we are October 23rd. We have another 8 days until the end of the month, and then another 2 months until the end of the year. use everything that you've learned and that you've heard. Make October the best month of this year, and make the other 2 months that are coming even better. Because why? Because we can. It's just as simple as that. We can if we choose to. It's all about moving into action. Don't be afraid. Let's not be afraid of making mistakes, because that's part of the learning. That's part of the growing. It's okay. Too often we just freeze because we want to do things right. And it's not so much about doing things right. It's about doing the right things. And there's a world of difference between one and the other, right?
Might remember a comment, Bernadette, that one of our esteemed leaders that isn't with us anymore, but he made a very profound comment. Go out and make a mess by talking to a lot of people, and your sponsors will help you clean it up.
Yes, true. The key thing is, remember, guys, it's action, follow up, and follow through.
Yeah.
Not just, right? It's really important. Action, follow up, and follow through. Because if we don't do the follow up and the follow through, might as well we don't do anything. Then it's a waste of time and energy, everybody. All right? Let's have a fabulous end of October. It's amazing of what can happen in 8 days. Amazing. So let's help a lot of people, not only with the product, but really reaching new heights in the business, making more income. Because as we know, the product is one tool. The other tool is the business side of it. So it's all about bringing both forward at the same time. All right, everybody, have a fabulous week.
Bernadette.
Yes.
Thanks, Bernadette.
Your video of doing your skydiving, I love, because for my 60th birthday, I did it. So I just relived it through that. I loved it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Great.